Hello YouTube, it's Correct episode 2 here to bring a review on the Build-A-Figure Rhino. I finally have him completed. Let's take a look at all the detail and let's look at this cool figure as we do a size comparison to a lot of other figures. Alright, one thing I do love about this figure is that it's a solid figure. You see here, it's very easy to stand on two legs. And one leg, this didn't take long. Like, it took a few seconds. I just want to see if I could get him in that running pose where he looked like he's about to, like, tackle someone down. And it's very easy. This figure can stand, and a lot of the joints were really good. It's not stiff. It's not hard. Nothing broke off. Just a solid figure. Now, let's look at all the detail. You see here, they gave him a really strong chin, huge neck. They did an awesome job on the actual chest here. That came out very good. He even has like what looks like literally rock hard abs. He's just gigantic. Makes me want to go hit the gym. I like how they gave him these shoulder pads, but they don't really hinder that much articulation, which I'll show during that part. Looks very good. I just really like how it is, and it's so easy to get it to stand. You can see here the detail in the paint app just itself with all this shading. You can't tell if this is the Rhino or if it's a piece of cement sculpted out of straight rock. Like, this looks awesome. They didn't skip out on the paint anywhere. It's not just a solid gray and a darker gray. Everywhere, even down here to the actual hubs that he has. I think it's called hubs. It's huge nails. You can even see some black in there and some scrapes. It just looks like he was sculpted. They did an awesome job on this, and even though he has all of this, he's still articulated. They still were able to put into the huge joints he had. I could be wrong. Some of the parts could have been reused. Not quite sure, but I do like the way they used them to make this Rhino figure. And yes, he did have an alternate head. I can't find it right now, so sorry about that. But the head had his eyes, and it was a pretty good head sculpt of him looking crazy, and he was about to lose it. At the top, you see the muscles look like they're rippling through the back. That looks awesome. All the little lumps they have throughout here. So much little details everywhere you look here. Like, they make sure they nailed the texture of his body. I do like that. See the shoulder pads from the back. Those look very cool. I just like how this came out and all this articulation here. You can kind of see through here, as you can tell. As usual, that part's a little loose, but it's not loose to the point where, you know, you can't like pose it or it slumps over. It actually helps it with the articulation, how they built it. Especially for this figure to be able to do some of the poses that it can do is really cool. Huge like built thighs and these knees that look like they're actually rocks. Looks awesome. Like, see this huge rock like cow muscle right here. It's crazy. The fun part, let's compare some sizes. So here he is next to the Hulk. As you can see, it looks like the Hulk is actually a little bit taller than him a little bit, though you see that the Rhino is like a lot more stocky. And here he is compared to a more normal size figure like Captain America, or even more normal size figure like the Spider-Man. And now let's look at the articulation. Now, we all know that sometimes with Marvel Legends, it's a hit and miss. Like, the new Marvel Legends Namor was really good, the one I got, and I got lucky because they had like 6 or 7. So I got a really good one that like had like no like problems. So that was awesome. And then some of them are just like unique and just different in their own way, like what we have here. All new sculpt, huge body, very nice, very different in its own unique way. And I just love how they did it. It's so massive and so muscular. It's just awesome. So here we have this gigantic figure. The foot can go that far back, can go that far up. A lot of ankle pivot there for just a huge one, so you can move it. That actually helps out a lot whenever you want to do really cool poses. Legs can only bend that far. Well, knees can only bend that far. You can twist at the thigh, goes out this far, twist it around. It even pops down, so that's the ab crunch forward. That's the ab crunch going back, so it can't go back as far, but still pretty cool. This can actually twist side to side. It's a little bit more stiff, but it will move. You just have to kind of work with it. It can look that far down, and he can look that far up. Now, the actual arms can go out about that far from the shoulder pads, completely go around, turn here, make a muscle. There you go, make the muscle. There you go. But it can make a muscle here. Not make a muscle, it can bend right here. Not go quite to 90 degrees. Just because of the huge muscles. And the wrist can only move a little bit. So not that much. But still a very solid figure. I do like it. And I'm glad that they came out with a pretty good Rhino. I always like wanted one. But I saw whenever they made like a mechanical one. And I wasn't really impressed by that one. And I always wanted just a really good like Rhino that was kind of like a modern day like Rhino. Not quite the adaptation from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 one though. But I do like it, and I do think it's a really cool like figure, and I can't wait to put into some cool poses with my Spider-Man and other heroes. But this has been a review by Correct episode 2. I'll see you guys in future videos. Bye.